Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you today that reinvention is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You cannot stay the same person you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even last year. Why? Because life is moving, and if you don't keep up, you'll get left behind. Embrace change as a necessity. Reinvention requires a mindset shift. You must first recognize that change is inevitable and essential for growth. In the words of Steve Harvey, if you want something different, you've got to do something different. Absolutely. Here's an expanded version of key point 1, blending seamlessly into the overall speech. You see, the first thing you need to understand is that change is not optional. It's a fundamental part of life. I don't care who you are or where you come from. Life is about growth. And if you're not growing, you're dying. That's just the truth. It's like a plant. If you stop watering it, it withers and eventually dies. The same thing happens to your dreams, your ambitions, and even to your soul when you resist change. Now, I know that change can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like you're stepping into the unknown, like you're walking into a dark room without knowing what's on the other side. But here's the thing, you will never ever reach your potential by staying exactly where you are. It doesn't work like that. Comfort will keep you stuck, but growth requires discomfort. And I'm not just talking about surface level change, like switching jobs or moving to a new place. I'm talking about a deeper transformation, the kind that challenges you to question your beliefs, your habits, your entire way of thinking. This kind of change can be scary, but it's also liberating. Because when you reinvent yourself, you're shedding the version of yourself that has been holding you back. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A lot of people resist change because they have this belief that who they are right now is fixed, that somehow their future is already determined by the person they've been in the past. But listen, you have the power to redefine who you are at any moment. This isn't just about changing your appearance or making external adjustments. No, this is about shifting your mindset, reprogramming your thoughts, and opening your heart to the possibility that you can be someone greater than you ever imagined. You see, life is constantly evolving. The world is moving forward. Technology is advancing. Ideas are changing. And if you're not growing with it, you're falling behind. But what most people don't understand is that growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It's messy, unpredictable, and sometimes it hurts. But it's necessary. So, I want you to do something today. I want you to embrace change as a part of your journey, not something to fear or avoid. Embrace the discomfort, the uncertainty, the unfamiliar. Because it's in those moments that real transformation happens. Change is not your enemy, it's your greatest ally. So look in the mirror today and ask yourself, am I willing to let go of who I was so I can become who I'm meant to be? It's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to reinvent yourself now. Self-awareness is the first step. Understanding who you are and where you currently stand is crucial. Without self-awareness, you can't know what areas need transformation. Let me tell you something. You can't reinvent yourself if you don't first know who you are. You've got to start with self-awareness. This is where so many people get it twisted. They think they can change their lives by changing their external circumstances without ever taking a deep, honest look inside themselves. But I'm telling you, everything starts with you. If you don't understand who you are right now, how can you even begin to envision who you want to become? I want you to think for a second. What do you really want? Not what society says you should want. Not what your friends or family expect of you. But deep down, in the quiet places of your heart, what is it that you desire? The reason why many of us get stuck is because we're so busy living someone else's idea of success. We're out here chasing titles, money, or relationships, thinking those things are going to define who we are. But those things are external. They don't define your essence. When you take the time to understand yourself, you'll see the habits, the beliefs, and the patterns that are holding you back. It's like trying to drive a car with the brakes on. You can't move forward if you're not willing to look under the hood and see what's stopping you. Self-awareness gives you the clarity to move forward. It tells you where to go and how to get there. Let's talk about the hardest part, facing your own truth. This is the part where most people want to avoid the uncomfortable stuff. They don't want to admit to themselves that they've been playing small, that they've been procrastinating, that they've been afraid. But I'm here to tell you the truth is liberating. Once you face the reality of where you are and who you are right now, it's like removing a weight from your shoulders. You can finally breathe because the truth sets you free. It doesn't make you feel bad about where you've been. It empowers you to take charge of where you're going. Now, don't get it twisted. Self-awareness isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest, loving, and kind to the person you are today, while also holding a vision of the person you want to become. You're not a failure just because you're not where you want to be yet. It's all about recognizing that you have the power to change, grow, and evolve. And here's the thing, the minute you understand who you are, you automatically free yourself from the chains of comparison and self-doubt. You stop looking at everyone else's success and start focusing on your own path. So, I want you to get real with yourself today. Ask yourself, who am I right now? And more importantly, who do I want to become? The answers are already inside of you. But you've got to be willing to face them. And once you do, nothing will be able to stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. The power of positive thinking, reinvention, requires you to shed negativity. A positive mindset can act as the driving force that propels you forward, even in the face of setbacks. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful forces in the universe, your mindset. It's amazing how much power your thoughts have over your life. The mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. If you're planting seeds of negativity, doubt, and fear, guess what's going to grow? But if you're planting seeds of positivity, self-belief, and possibility, that's exactly what will blossom in your life. You've got to make the decision right now to change your thoughts if you want to change your life. You see, one of the biggest obstacles people face when trying to reinvent themselves is their negative thinking. It's easy to get caught up in what you don't have, what you haven't done, and what you've failed at. But I'm here to tell you that negative thoughts are the very thing keeping you from your success. They'll keep you trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, convincing you that you're not worthy or that you can't handle the challenges ahead. But here's the thing about negative thinking. It's not reality, it's a habit, and habits can be broken. You can choose every single day to think differently. I want you to understand that you are in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts don't control you unless you let them. The moment you take ownership of your mind, you take ownership of your future. Now, I know it's not always easy. Life throws curveballs and challenges come out of nowhere. But I'm telling you, it's in those tough moments where your positive mindset will carry you through. It's not about ignoring the difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. No, It's about choosing to believe that even in the toughest moments, you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. A positive mindset doesn't mean everything is easy. It means you believe you can overcome anything. Think about the great achievers in history, people like Steve Jobs, Oprah, or even Muhammad Ali. Do you think they didn't face obstacles? Of course they did. But what separated them from the crowd was their unwavering belief that they could turn challenges into opportunities. They didn't let negative thinking take root in their minds. Instead, they chose to focus on what was possible, what could be, and what they could achieve. And that's what I want you to do starting today. Feed your mind with positivity. Every time a negative thought tries to creep in, replace it with something empowering. Instead of thinking, I can't, think I will. Instead of it's too hard, think I'm capable of overcoming this. Your thoughts are a reflection of who you are becoming. And if you want to reinvent yourself, you've got to start by reinventing how you think. So here's your challenge. Every time negativity tries to sneak into your mind, push back harder with a positive affirmation, a word of encouragement, or a belief in your own potential. The mind is your battlefield, and when you win the battle of your mind, you win in life. Now go out there and control your thoughts, because they are the key to controlling your future. Overcoming fear of the unknown. Fear is a major barrier to reinvention. Steve Harvey often talks about stepping out of your comfort zone and facing fear head on. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. Let's talk about something that holds back more people than you can imagine. Fear. Now, I know fear is a powerful emotion. It's natural. We all experience it. But I'm here to tell you today that fear is a liar. It will tell you you're not good enough. It'll tell you that you're not ready. It'll whisper all the worst case scenarios and make you feel like you're standing on the edge of a cliff about to fall off. But here's the kicker. Fear only has the power you give it. It's a feeling, not a fact. Now, don't get me wrong. Fear is a human response. It's something we all deal with. But what separates the successful from the unsuccessful is what they do with that fear. Most people let fear control them. They don't take that leap. They don't step out of their comfort zone because they're afraid of failing, of being judged, or of the unknown. And guess what? By doing that, they guarantee their own failure, because staying comfortable means staying stuck. If you want to reinvent yourself, you have to understand that fear is a sign that you're on the right track. If you're not scared, you're probably not growing. Comfort doesn't lead to greatness. It leads to mediocrity. You have to be willing to embrace fear and move through it, not let it paralyze you. The truth is, every great achievement comes with fear. Every time you step into a new chapter of your life, there's uncertainty. But if you don't face that fear, you're never going to experience the breakthrough you're capable of. Here's the thing about fear. It's all about perspective. We fear the unknown because we don't know what's on the other side. But let me tell you, on the other side of that fear is your growth. It's your dreams. It's the next version of yourself that you've been working toward. But you've got to take the first step, even if you're scared. That's where the real magic happens. Think about it. You don't have to have everything figured out before you start. Just take the first step. The clarity will come as you move forward. It's the act of pushing through fear that builds confidence, that builds strength. And the more you face fear, the less control it has over you. Fear is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger you become. So today, I want you to ask yourself, what fear is holding you back? Is it fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of the unknown? Whatever it is, don't let it stand in the way of who you are meant to become. Take that leap. The fear is going to be there, but you can choose to move through it. And on the other side of that fear is your future, the one you've always dreamed of. You see, when you move beyond fear, you'll find something more powerful than anything you ever imagined. You'll find freedom. And that, my friend, is where your true reinvention begins. Commitment to continuous learning. Reinvention isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifelong commitment to constantly improving and evolving. You have to be willing to learn and grow every day. Let's talk about something that's crucial if you're really going to reinvent yourself: the commitment to continuous learning. Now, this one's a game changer. You see, most people think that once they've reached a certain level of success, they can coast. They think that once they've learned enough, they've reached the finish line. But let me tell you something. Learning doesn't stop until your last breath. If you want to stay relevant, if you want to keep evolving, you've got to commit to being a lifelong learner. I know. Some of you are probably thinking, Steve, I've got a degree, I've been to school, I've done my time. But here's the thing. Knowledge is constantly changing. The world doesn't stop moving, and neither should you. Just because you learned something 5 years ago doesn't mean it's still applicable today. We live in a time where new technologies, new ideas, and new strategies are emerging every single day. If you're not keeping up, you're falling behind. Learning isn't just about books or formal education either. It's about staying curious and seeking out new information from every avenue available. You can learn something from a podcast, from an article, from a conversation with someone who has a different perspective. The moment you close your mind off to learning is the moment you start to close off your potential. Now, let's be real. This requires a shift in mindset. It means being humble enough to recognize that you don't know everything. And guess what? That's okay. There's power in admitting that you don't have all the answers. In fact, that's the first step to real growth. When you stop learning, you stop growing. The moment you think you've learned it all is the moment your progress stalls. Think about it. Every success story, every person you admire, has been committed to learning. It doesn't matter how much money they've made or what titles they've earned. They're always pushing themselves to go deeper, to understand more, to explore new areas, and that's how they stay on top of their game. Continuous learning keeps you sharp. It challenges your thinking, forces you to adapt, and makes you better. So today, I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing to keep learning? Are you reading, listening, or engaging with new ideas? Are you challenging yourself to grow in ways that make you uncomfortable? Because if you're not, then you're staying stagnant. And the world doesn't wait for anyone. Commit to learning, and your reinvention will never stop. It's a continuous journey that will push you to heights you never imagined. And remember this, the person who stops learning is the person who starts dying. So keep growing, keep evolving, and never stop becoming the best version of yourself. Action over doubt. It's not enough to dream or plan. Action is where the magic happens. Reinvention requires taking bold, consistent steps, even when doubt creeps in. A dream without action is just a wish. Now, let's talk about one of the most crucial elements of reinvention action. I'm going to be straight with you. You can dream all day long. You can have the best ideas, the grandest plans, the most visionary goals. But if you don't take action, nothing will change. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. Dreaming is great, But if you don't move, if you don't do something, your dreams stay just that, dreams. This is where so many people fall short. They think that thinking about something is the same as doing something. It's not. I don't care how much you plan or how much you talk about your goals. If you don't get up and take action, you're not going anywhere. And let me tell you this, you're going to make mistakes along the way. You're going to stumble, fail, and hit roadblocks. That's part of the process. Action is messy. It's unpredictable. It's not going to look perfect, and it's definitely not going to be easy. But here's the secret. It's better to take imperfect action than to take no action at all. Because the more you act, the more you learn, and the more you grow. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to start. They wait for all the stars to align, for the conditions to be just right. But here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. You're never going to feel fully ready. You're never going to have everything in place. But guess what? You don't need all the answers right now. You don't need a foolproof plan. You just need to start. Every great success story, every person who's achieved greatness has one thing in common. They took action. They didn't wait for the perfect time. They didn't let fear or doubt hold them back. They moved forward even when they didn't have all the answers, and that's what made the difference. Action builds momentum. When you start doing, you start seeing results, and that's what keeps you going. It creates energy, it sparks ideas, and it drives you toward your goals. I need you to ask yourself right now, what's the one thing I've been putting off? What's that thing that you've been dreaming about but haven't taken the first step toward? Take that first step today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Take action right now. Remember, dreams without action are just wishes. If you're serious about reinventing yourself, you have to take consistent, focused action. No more waiting. Your future is waiting for you to show up.